You follow spring training on TV, you might not recognize them, but you'll definitely recognize their work. And they do it all for the love of the game and the love of their life. Ah, the sound of music and the sight of baseball. With popular teams like the Rays and the Braves meeting up, a first-time visitor might not notice this unassuming camera crew heading into Cool Today Park in Northport. But if you know spring training, you know Larry and Mary.
Some people say you're an institution. They've seen us so many times.
For more than a quarter of a century, this duo has been traveling down from Philadelphia, carefully recording.
We have a system where we shoot it so we make it look like 3 cameras.
And logging down to the last second on each time code.
Time 1:36.
Every moment.
Time 1:43.
That could turn into a highlight.
I watch for the player and write down what he did, the event, and then Larry gives me a code sometimes. Sometimes it's hope I get it.
Sometimes is good enough when you work this closely and have done it for this long. This all started when Larry was the chief news photographer at a TV station in Philadelphia during the days of film and was assigned to cover Phillies spring training in sunny Florida. The reels had to be flown back to Philadelphia to make good on the news team's promise.
On the 5:30 news, they say the Reds played the Phillies today, film at 11. And we'd shoot the game, run like hell to the airport, drop the film off at the airport.
Even after retiring from the TV station, Larry kept the spring training gig, and Mary joined the team, a team of 2.
So she would drive, I would edit, and I'd be yelling at her all the time. Don't stop at that yellow light, go through it. We're running tight on time.
But they always made it, and still do. They've received no complaints from the big leagues.
So apparently they like the work we do, they keep us. We've got them fooled all these years. So it works. I'll give you numbers on the runs.
It works because they work hard, even though they're both 86 years old.
Nobody complains about our age being, move over for a younger group, which we probably will do soon.
But not this season. They've still got what it takes, even carrying their own gear despite gracious offers from others.
They're accommodating, in fact, too accommodating. They want to pick up my tripod. They want to, hey, I can do all this.
He can because, well, let's just say the players aren't the only ones who work out around here.
At home, I do weightlifting. I do 20 repetitions with 100 pounds to stay in shape. I do bike riding. And Mary keeps me in shape.
Oh, yeah.
You might wonder how Mary got into this. In case you haven't guessed, she's not his personal trainer. She's not much into TV.
I don't know the first thing about any of the electronics.
Into baseball? Meh.
Oh, that.
You see, long before she was standing on her tippy toes to see the action from the press box alongside this guy, she was swept off her feet by him. He was a dashing photographer who had served in the Army, making training films. She was a nurse.
We had 4 beautiful, wonderful girls.
Every year she says, this is it. Every year our kids say, don't go down.
But why not come down to this?
If I were home, I'd be just cleaning or trying to get rid of snow.
Instead, they're in the thick of the action.
I enjoy it. I get to see things I wouldn't normally.
We're a typical husband and wife team. She does the work, I get the pay.
But with these two, it feels less about pay and more about play, despite a little bickering, shall we say.
We'd be yelling at each other, and it's March when we're doing this, and it's May before we talk to each other again. One time, I actually drove 2 miles before I realized she wasn't in the car.
They've been married for 64 years.
I don't know how she's done it.
As a partner, he's the greatest. He's the greatest father. The kids love him. I love him. A work partner, Well, we have our ups and downs.
I'll pay you extra today.
It helps, they say, that as a couple, they're constantly challenging their bodies.
I don't want to be sitting on a couch, moving a remote, watching television. Let somebody else watch the remote on their television and what we shoot.
And challenging their minds.
It keeps us active, somewhat in the learning something new all the time. And that helps us mentally as well as physically.
Shooting the stars and shooting for the stars after more than 6 decades together. And they have some advice on what to look for from your other half in life.
Consider you as much as they consider themselves. So I guess it's called love.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing.
Just like baseball, life, they know, is unpredictable.
I don't know whether we'll come next year.
They may not know where they'll be next spring, but they do know one thing.
Yes, I think we're going to stick together for a while, despite baseball.
Though Larry and Mary might be a little partial to Philly, my dad's hometown, since that's where they're from too, most of the games they actually record these days are for teams that hold their spring training here in Southwest Florida, the Braves, the Twins, and the Red Sox. Patrick Nolan, Fox 4.